So you probably already know that what you eat is important for weight loss. You probably also know that how much you eat is probably as important as what you eat. But what you may not have taken into consideration or may not have known is that it's not just about what you eat or how much you eat, but also about when you eat. So, what I want to do today in this video is talk about something that I've been talking to a lot of my clients about recently, and this is on about nutrient timing. And more specifically, in this video, I want to focus on carbohydrates. So, when you eat your carbs is very important. And there's different ways we could approach this topic. We could approach this topic of when in the day you eat them, but we could also approach this topic in when you should eat them within your meal. So, you know what? I was only going to approach it in one way, but I'm going to talk about both ways and just kill two birds with one stone. So, when it comes to carbohydrates, here's the timing that you should follow if your goal is weight loss. So, in terms of the time of the day, when should you eat your carbs? So, we got to remember that carbs are our body's preferred source of energy, meaning that if your body has the choice between using protein, carbs, or fat as an energy choice or as an energy source, your body is almost always going to use carbs because it is much easier for your body to convert carbs into energy than it is for your body to convert fat or protein into energy. So, knowing that carbs are our main source of energy, when do you think would be the best time to eat those carbs? Well, I'm not going to make you wait. The best time to eat those carbs is during the time of the day where you're going to be busiest. So if you find that the busiest time of the day for you is in the morning because your work is just busier at that time, plus you work out at that time, that is the time where you want to focus the majority of your carbohydrates. You would not want to focus the majority of your carbohydrates during a part of the day where you're the slowest, where you're sitting. If you work at a computer, you would not want to eat your carbs midday when you're at the computer all day. And a lot of people will notice that they'll go eat lunch and then a few hours later they're sitting in front of their computer and they're dozing off and they're falling asleep. They got the food coma. They're dozing off and they're falling asleep. And for most people, those things happen when the meals are more carbohydrate heavy than protein or fat. So, in terms of time of the day, when is the best time of day to eat your carbs for weight loss? It's around the time of the day where you're going to be busiest, whether it's night when you're busiest, your work is busiest at night, or you work out at night, in the afternoon, or the morning. Have your carbs, the majority of them, during the time where you're going to be busiest. And the main reason is because you want to use those carbs for energy and not store them. Now, think of it like this. An endurance athlete, they don't carb load during times where they're not in intensive training for an event or they're not preparing for the actual event the few days before the event. And they can eat 2, 3, 400 grams of carbs in a day. But they can do that because a cyclist is cycling for hours in a workout. Most of us, we're sitting at desks all day. We're doing very mundane, very sedentary jobs. We live sedentary lifestyles. And even if you did a moderate intensity workout, your body has no need for that level of carbohydrates. And it is a quick route to weight gain. Again, there's a reason why you have never heard of a high carbohydrate weight loss diet. Because although carbohydrates are not bad, carbs in high quantities are anti weight loss. So have your carbs during the time of the day where you can burn them and not store them. Now, if we look in your meals, when should you eat your carbs in your meals? You've got protein, you've got carbs, and you've got fat. Now, what we want to do within the meal is we want to make sure that our bodies are utilizing those carbs over a longer period of time, getting less of an insulin response from those carbs, because when insulin levels go up, fat storage goes up. When insulin levels go down, fat burning goes down. So, what I always encourage my clients to do is you want to give your protein and your fat a head start. So what I encourage my clients to do is eat your protein and your fat first. Give yourself about 20 to 30 minutes. Allow your body to start to digest that protein and that fat, and then slowly eat your carbs afterwards. Now, during that time where you're waiting, and this might not always be practical, but if you can, during that time that you're waiting to eat your carbs, what you would want to do is drink as much water as you can, because that is going to speed up the absorption and speed up the metabolic process, speed up digestion. My voice just changed. And that is going to help to slow down the conversion of those carbs into a usable source of energy, allowing your body to utilize those carbohydrates over a longer period of time, causing less of them to be stored as fat and more of them over a longer period of time to be used and burned as energy. And you may even notice that you may not feel that crash after you eat a meal that has carbohydrates in it when you approach your mealtime carbs this way. So this is a strategy that I would have you use if you were one of my clients, if your goal is weight loss and you're wondering how should you approach carbohydrates to hit that weight loss goal. So if you need help with this topic or more, click the first link down below in the description. First coaching call is free, and you and I will figure out what we need to do together to get you from where you're at to where you want to be.